Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, I am Scented Steve, and today, as you can tell by our little parts layout here, number one, we're trying to do things a little bit better here for the channel, and number two, it is time to get the rear tossed into my Jeep. So before we get done doing all that, you can see I got it all cleaned up here. I'm actually going to go ahead and make brake lines for this thing. I'm going to get new brake shoes. So before we go ahead and actually get tearing into this thing and get this thing installed, we are actually going to do a Send It Steve first here, and we are actually going to do this the proper way. So if you guys don't know, normally I would just toss this thing back in here and move on and then just drive the truck, have some fun. And when it became an issue, it became an issue. So however, with this one here, I want to actually take this thing apart, and I want to put new wheel cylinders on it, new brake hardware. I want to be able to have this thing up to tip-top shape for the rear of this thing and the front of this thing, so that the axles are a little less likely to break. I want to do a C-clip eliminator kit. I'm also going to go ahead and weld the rear for this thing now. I was against it there for a while, but I think we're going to head on over to Regal Metalworks and have him just weld up our rear for this thing. So without further ado, I'm going to start tearing this axle apart. Maybe a two-part video. I might end up building this axle real quick and then building the front axle in this video, and then later on I might end up tossing him in the Jeep. So if you do see it in two parts, just know that we're doing it properly. So the front end, the other thing I have is for the front here, I actually have a front end lunchbox locker for this thing. So I think what we're gonna do is just go ahead and get this thing fully locked as it is. As you guys do know, this thing is super capable off-road as it sits now with the open diffs and everything. But I think it's time to take this thing to the next level, really push this thing and see what we can do. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing welded up. We're gonna get the new brake lines and everything, brake hoses, axle seals. Basically we're gonna finish the rear here first, and then we're gonna pull the front rear up here, and then we're gonna finish the front rear. So I'm excited. This thing's gonna be locked, ready to rock, ready to roll this weekend, and I am freaking pumped. So without further ado, I'm gonna tear this apart, then we're gonna hand it over to Regal Metalworks. We're gonna get the rear end welded, and we're just gonna plug and chug and get it going. All right, I gotta admit, I absolutely love the Subaru because we could just toss this in here and go, and it's not actually as high as like my truck. So let's get over to Regal. Boys and girls, well, we are locked in the rear. Well, I guess we're more or less welded in the rear. We're not locked, but technically locked. So I'm excited about this, guys. We are going to test this weekend. I'm also going to do this video differently. I'm going to go ahead now and toss this rear into the Jeep a while, because this rear should only take me, I'd say probably about an hour and a half to get this rear into the Jeep. And then if I need to drive the Jeep, I can. Until I get everything to get the front end together. So I'm waiting on a bushing on the front end, so I might as well do this now, get it tossed in here, and then make a second video doing the front end differently. So here is the quick and easy way to do a rear in a Jeep. Super simple. 4 U-bolts, shock bolts, drive shaft, brake line. Comes right out. All right, let's get this Jeep turned around here, Actually, I'll just leave it where it's at. I'll jack it up here and we'll get this thing tossed in. I'm also going to go ahead and toss my fluid and everything in now. That way I can just toss it in and be done. You can see I already cleaned up this surface here. Now I just got to clean up the pan surface and get this thing going. Choice, I'm just using some cheap gear oil here because obviously you guys do know we're probably going to break this, or if it doesn't break, we're going to upgrade it very, very soon. So the other thing is we've got new brake shoes here. I've got new drums, and I've got all the hardware. So I'm going to go ahead and you can see me toss in the hardware, the e-brake hardware. This is actually the spring hardware, and I'm excited. The rear of this thing's going to hopefully be bulletproof. Oh, and a wheel cylinder. Well, not two wheel cylinders. So we got to get the wheel cylinders done too. Let's get all that done now. As you guys know, we are going to go ahead and do this the right way. I got all the brake hardware here. If you guys aren't familiar with it, you want to go ahead and, especially since this is going to be obviously an off-road rig, you want to go ahead and lube up everything that's possible. So as you can tell, like I lubed here. This side I didn't do because I wanted to show you guys. Basically what I do is I'll put it on my finger. I'll just take it here, go across there, down the front, same here, there, dab it over here, and then I'll flip it over and do the back side here. So that's basically what I did with like the top up here, the bottom's down here, and anywhere where there's going to be a contact, because you know this thing's going to see some water, you know this thing's going to get abused. So I just want this thing to be completely lubricated as possible. And without further ado, oh, this adjuster too, I backed out all the way because these tend to seize up. This end comes out over here. As you can tell, I lubed that up, that comes up. You can tell they seize up over time. So basically I'm gonna go ahead and just lube everything so that we can get this thing in water and not really have to sit there and worry about it. Contact pads on here, you can see contact pad lubed. I go ahead and lube anything that could possibly squeal or make some sort of noise. Lube. I also go ahead and just lube up here. So without further ado, I'm gonna get the wheel cylinder tossed back in here, the brake line and everything done, and get this thing back together. I know you guys are probably in shock that we're actually doing this the right way and the correct way for once, but I told you guys we're gonna start making changes, and the changes are here. Let me set up a time lapse. I'm gonna get this side done, and then I'll just kind of snap and do that side over here. But at least this side, I'll show you what we're doing here. like you just seen there. At the end, the brake pads or brake shoes are on. We've got the new drum here, and again, bigger pad. I don't know if, well, I probably said it in the video, but it's probably fast forwarded, but bigger shoe in the rear and smaller shoe up front. That's how you do it. Do it right, do it correctly the first time, and you won't have any other issues. So the other thing is the axle seal. Again, I didn't actually do the axle seal before we went ahead and welded it. I should have, but it is what it is, guys. If it leaks a little bit, it leaks a little bit. I'll just keep an eye on the fluid and everything. So let me go ahead and get the other side done, and then it's time to start laying it in the Jeep. Even I forgot that top piece there. I forgot to put that one back in, but crossbar is in now. Now it's good. All right, well, there you have it. We are about to toss this rear into here. Now I'm gonna have to put gloves on and probably wash my hands, because obviously I want to try to keep it as white as possible. Now I know you guys are gonna say, why would you pick white? You know you're gonna off-road it, you know you're gonna have issues, but I just figured I'd toss white on it. I couldn't really figure out, well, I couldn't find pink and I couldn't find purple, and the purple that I did find that I could have picked up today wasn't even a close purple to that. So I just decided, the heck with it, let's just go white. White will work. That way when we change the color later on, we can change the color of this too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and spin the Jeep around here and get the rear tossed in. It is time to get the white one underneath the Jeep. So as you can tell, this one is actually, I can't believe there's any fluid even left in it, but this one is definitely junk. Definitely seen better days, and I'll be honest, it was probably because I didn't torque it properly, or I think the seal was just leaking for so long after I broke the yoke here. Yeah, you can see this seal has just been leaking and dumping oil everywhere. So could be a number of things. Could have been the seal going bad and low on fluid, or it could have been me not torquing it properly, but it is what it is. Let's get the new rear underneath it. I will not even begin to tell you how frustrating I am right now, because I use this at GoPro for this entire thing of footage. Well, all of it, but whatever I did at Kohl's. So fingers crossed that this actually formats out and actually does good. Otherwise, you guys are just seeing the rear end be put while the rear end's in. Oh man, GoPro Error 101. So anyway, guys, I'm not sure where you guys are going to see this. I might end up putting it before I do the front axle, but we've got the rear axle in here. As you can tell, we've got brand new pads, rotors, well, not pads, I guess shoes, rotors, wheel cylinders, all the hardware. I went ahead and just did everything at once. Again, I'm only recording this in case my GoPro doesn't work, but everything in there is brand new. We are all painted up now. Again, I'm not sure why. We got white. It's probably the only color, well, I know it's the only color that I could actually find that was actually decent, other than just doing gloss black. I wanted something that stands out. But yeah, so this GoPro just officially turned off. But there you guys have it. The rear is in, the rear is welded, and we're ready to get out here and have some fun. So tomorrow's video, or the next video that you see, will be us installing the front end, and I hope you guys enjoy it, or you guys are about to see me do the front end where we do the locker and everything. So there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in an upcoming video. Take care, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, I also wanted to go ahead and say, because I'm gonna plan on building like a tool rack back here. Obviously we got our spare tire and our roof rack and everything back on. This thing is gonna have a little bit of weight in the back, so I went ahead and got a helper spring for the rear. So if you guys are wondering why there's a helper spring in the back, I put a helper spring in the back so that it, you know, hopefully can take a lot of the weight that we're gonna put in the back of this thing. As you guys do know, I want to do some overlanding, so I'm gonna have some camping gear in the back. I'm gonna have a bunch of things in the back of this thing. So yes, a helper spring is the way I'm gonna go. This weekend is gonna be the true test to see if that helper spring is going to be beneficial or not, or if it's going to go ahead and mess up with my articulation and everything. So stay tuned for the off-roading videos on that, and take care. We'll see you in the next one.